Welcome. Welcome to the Deliciously Divine Kitchen. Today we are going to be making banana bread. There was this one time I went to India, and just before I went to India, I gave a friend of mine banana bread before I went. And I sent him an email from India asking him how he was doing, and since I went to a retreat center in Mount Abu, I was sending him greetings from the retreat center and how beautiful and peaceful and gorgeous it was. And the only response I got back from him was how great the banana bread was. Nothing else. He said, everyone I feed this banana bread, they say it's the best banana bread. So I took this recipe from the internet and I modified it. And I modified it because I'm a vegan. And so this is a vegan banana bread, and it's very easy. For banana bread, you need really ripe bananas. They should be ripe like this. And so all of the ingredients you need for the banana bread is you need 2.5 cups of flour. You need half a teaspoon of salt. You need 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. You need half a cup of oil. You need 3/4 cup of brown sugar. You need 2 cups of mashed bananas, and they're mashed like that. So if you get bananas like that, they mash up nice like this. And these are optional ingredients, but they're really good ingredients, so I always put them in. And that is half a cup of chocolate chips, half a cup of walnuts, and half a cup of shredded unsweetened coconut. And this shredded unsweetened coconut, I usually get it in the Indian store, because in the regular store you get sweetened coconut. And so this is the recipe. And always, before I start cooking, I always take a moment of silence and just center myself in who I am, and I remember God, and I start, because I feel cooking is a very, very important aspect of life. And whatever I put in my body, that is what I think. And the way I cook is the way the food comes out. So my consciousness in cooking really affects the way I think. So you put flour, and you put the half a teaspoon of salt, and the 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. And you sieve it. So the next thing we do is we do the wet ingredients together. And so the wet ingredients are oil. And even though sugar is not a wet ingredient, you always first cream the sugar with the oil. And so especially brown sugar, because brown sugar has a lot of lumps, so you need to cream it. There. So you and then you put the banana, mashed bananas in it. And you put the vanilla. And then you mix it up. When you do this, the salt and the baking soda and the dry ingredient mixture, the flour mixture, you put it in. And you gently and you keep doing this with the spatula so it mixes evenly. Not too dry and not too runny, because it's a bread batter. This is a banana bread, and this is a quick bread. And now we fold in the optional ingredients, that is the chocolate chips, the unsweetened shredded coconut and the walnuts. And this, you don't need to mix it. You would just fold it in like that. It's a regular standard bread pan, and you oil it. After you oil it, then you put this whole batter, just like this, into the bread pan. So if you, let's say, take a smaller bread pan or a larger bread pan, it doesn't matter because it will bake accordingly. Doesn't it look great? Even before baking, it looks great. And so all quick breads bake for a long time, about an hour, and they bake at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. So I preheated the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'm going to put it for an hour. So you put it in the center of the tray like that. You have to be really careful with quick breads not to burn them. So this bread took about 1 hour and 5 minutes. It took about 5 more minutes. And the way you test it, even when it's in the oven, is you take a long toothpick and you put it in, and if it comes out clean, you know it's done. And what we do with this bread is we leave it in the pan, in the hot pan. It's very hot. You leave it in the pan for about 10 minutes before you take the bread out and cool it on a wiring rack. So we left the bread for about 10 minutes and we just cooled it on a rack for another 10 minutes, or actually even longer, maybe 20 minutes, and then we sliced it into a piece. And this is how it looks, the slice. It really looks very delicious. Thank you for joining us for the Deliciously Divine Kitchen. And before you eat, remember to take that moment of peace with God before you eat.